Today we are going to talk about one of the underrated gems in the acoustic guitar world, the Parlour guitar. So you may ask, what exactly is a Parlour guitar? Well, I think we're going to have to take a brief history lesson in order to answer that. The Parlour guitar, also known as the zero-size guitar, traces its roots to the 18th century. It was originally designed as a smaller-sized guitar, perfect for playing in small rooms or intimate settings, hence the name. These guitars were popular during the late 18th century and early 19th. They were known for their unique tonal characteristics and playability because of its size. Now that we're done with the history lesson, let's talk about what makes a Parlour guitar special. Obviously, the first defining feature is its smaller size, and more importantly, in my opinion, the shorter neck scale. These 2 points make it easier to handle and play, especially for those with smaller hands or ones that are just starting out, such as beginners. Along with the shorter neck scale, one of the defining things about Parlour guitars that I certainly have found is they also tend to have slimmer necks. So compared to a traditional full body acoustic or a jumbo acoustic, the necks are a lot slimmer. They are smaller and more comfortable. This originally started off by helping fingerstyle players achieve easier chords and patterns. But if you are someone looking for that transition from an electric to an acoustic guitar and often struggled with bar chords or doing more intricate lines on an acoustic because of the mere chunk of the neck, I think Parlour guitars are a very, very good way of bridging that gap. Simply because if you take a guitar like this with a relatively slim neck, it won't be miles away from a traditional Les Paul neck. At least in this case, I am using my Faith Parlour guitar, and I've got to say, it is very, very similar in terms of neck size and playability, obviously with higher gauge strings, but playability to a Les Paul neck. This is also a very good guitar if you are a light picker or a more technical player that wants to play very fast on acoustic. Well, this neck will be certainly more comfortable than a traditional acoustic. Parlour guitars like this one often come with a solid spruce top and mahogany sides and back to give it that warm but very mid-range focused sound. Now we have to talk about the sound 1 second, because Parlour guitars will be different simply because of the body size. Will certainly project slightly less, first of all, and second of all, it will have less lower end to a traditional acoustic guitar. What this means is that it will be very, very good for smaller environments, for more intimate settings, why it started out being this size, but will obviously project slightly less. For example, a acoustic live duo with only 2 guitars, and both of them play Parlour guitars, you may be missing that bottom end, which you often want in that kind of scenario. So it's slightly more limited in terms of use, but if you find the right way of using a Parlour guitar, whether it's live or in the studio, it's a fantastic tool. And personally, I play this more than any other guitar simply because I find it more comfortable. So having said that, the million-dollar question is, are Parlour guitars good for beginners? I hope that we answered that at the beginning, but I would highly recommend actually getting a Parlour guitar if you are just starting off and are interested in acoustic guitars, simply because the playability is incredible. It's a lot easier to play. It's a lot easier to do bar chords just because the neck is slightly slimmer and has less string tension because of the scale. So I would highly recommend this as a beginner guitar if you want to get into that acoustic. I would also highly recommend this if you're a purely electric guitarist but want to add some acoustic to some of your tracks. It will be less of a culture shock than moving to a traditional size guitar. So guys, I hope you found this interesting. I just think the Parlour guitar, although used by quite a few players, for example, Ed Sheeran, John Mayer, etc., they seem to use Parlour guitars even today. It's one of the styles of acoustic that, for whatever reason, people don't really talk a lot about, but I think is a real hidden gem, and I think it makes acoustic playing a lot more pleasurable. As famously B.B. King said, "Why do you want to work so hard? Get yourself a Parlour. It's a lot easier. It sounds great. Yes, maybe it's lacking that bottom end, but you can always fix that in other ways." Let me know what you think. Do you guys play Parlour guitars? Are they any good? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe, do all that business, because it does help me out. I will see you later. Thanks for watching, guys.